So when we enroll a device, for self-enrollment, if we want an end user to take their corporate device and enroll it into AirWatch, they're going to download the agent. They're going to go to awagent.com. They're going to enroll their device using the credentials that you supply, either Active Directory Basic or maybe some sort of authentication proxy. And they're going to accept the default settings. They're going to give authorization over to AirWatch, and their device will be enrolled. So a couple of steps. It takes about 2 minutes. Here's the entire flow. You can see here that we can deliver those user credentials via email or text message. The end user can then use the AirWatch agent. They can use a URL or a QR code to enroll their device. They can accept their terms of use. The device shows up for the administrator in the console. And from there, applications, profiles, and some security policies will be pushed down at the same time. At the end of that process, the device will be enrolled successfully. The user will see in the agent that their device is talking to AirWatch. So again, this is a lot of behind the scenes work, and we try to make it easy as possible for the end user. So when you're enrolling your device with the agent, what you're really doing is either a simple enrollment. You can download the agent and enroll with credentials, or we can enroll the device on behalf of the end user. We can do an administrative enrollment, where we set the device up, we stage it for the user, and then we hand it off to them where they enter their own credentials. We can do a BYOD enrollment where maybe we don't manage the entire device. Maybe we do a container or a Workspace ONE mobile application management only. Or we can allow them to still use the agent, but maybe do a single click or QR code enrollment using proxies or that scannable QR code within the agent itself. So again, multiple ways you can enroll a device. Don't think that the simple enrollment is the only method. It's just the one that we promote because it explains the entire process from start to finish. Now, we'll talk about some of the more advanced enrollment options like device enrollment program from Apple and Android at Work with the Google program as well. So when you're using iOS devices, if you're going to secure that device, you're going to be supervising it. An iOS device is not supervised, is basically a device that is considered BYOD, because what you're doing is you're giving the end user the ability to remove management at any time. So if I have an iOS device that's my corporate device, and I want to give that to an end user, I'm going to sign up for a free program with Apple called Device Enrollment Program, or DEP, and I'm going to put that device under supervision. Basically what we're saying is we're registering the device's ID with Apple. Apple manages that ID, and we can push down configurations that can lock the device into enrollment. If the user tries to remove enrollment by, say, factory resetting the device, guess what? It restarts up. It has to talk to Apple over APNS. Apple has a registered AirWatch console associated with that device's serial number. It pushes management right back down again. So good luck stealing it. Good luck trying to remove the profile off that device from management, because the whole purpose of DEP is to make sure that you retain ownership of that asset. And even if it's lost, you can remove the information from that device, and it cannot be used on a network again, because Apple will block that device from talking to the cellular network or data network outside of management. Now, there's another way that you can supervise a device without going through the DEP program. That's by using Apple Configurator. This is on a Mac computer. You have to have a Macintosh computer. It has to be running on OS 10 or above. And here's the deal. You just open up this application. This is Apple's MDM program. You connect an iOS device via USB. You push down the profile that manages that device, and you can encrypt that profile on the device with a password. So it's not the same as using DEP over APNS, but you can reasonably prevent the user from removing that profile. It's not 100% secure like APNS encrypted DEP program is, but it's a great way just from preventing the user from removing that management profile. Some of the extra capability that we get with the DEP or device enrollment program is we have profiles that are available to us through supervision. And we allow you to set up DEP from the AirWatch console. So in the AirWatch console, you are going to have the capability to be able to set up the entire process of DEP from start to finish. All you have to do is go outside of the console to Apple and register an Apple ID with the device enrollment program. And Apple's going to ask you if you're a business or a school, and then from there it's going to ask you to prove that you are with that institution or with that business using a DUNS tax ID. And this tax ID is going to say, hey, that you're actually authorized to make purchases and are actually with your company. Now, this DEP program is completely free. Again, we just need that DUNS tax ID just to make sure that you are who you say you are. Now, once you have registered that with Apple, you come back to the AirWatch admin console, you enter your DEP identification, and from there you can determine if the setup assistant on an iOS device shows any information at all, or only shows some information, like a Wi-Fi passcode. You can determine what applications push down, which profiles push down. And you control the entire setup for the end user. You can make it a very easy enrollment. And then once it's enrolled into DEP, then you of course have a device that's managed and that can only be removed by the AirWatch administrator. Now for Android devices, it's a similar process, except it's not done, of course, through an Apple program. It's done through either Android at Work or Samsung Knox. Now, if you're using a Samsung device, Samsung devices that support Knox have a containerized method on them. The container that is basically a secure encrypted container on the device that allows you to enroll that container into a MDM program such as AirWatch, while the personal information on that device is kept separate from the container. So you can have a user that has basically a corporate device and a personal device in one. So we can integrate with Samsung Knox. Of course, it has to be a Samsung product. Now with Android for Work, we have a capability of, as long as it's an Android device that supports Android at Work, you can enroll that Android device, it doesn't have to be Samsung, into the AirWatch environment, and you have specific features that will lock down the profile or lock down the authentication. With Windows 10 enrollment, we have agent-based enrollment, just like our other platforms. We can perform bulk provisioning. We can do an Azure AD cloud domain join. So if you want to just take a large shipment of Windows 10 devices, utilize an Azure AD structure and push those enrollments using user credentials and a cloud domain join, then you can do so. You can order 1,000 devices and then push the AirWatch enrollment to the users, and when the user signs in, the device enrolls. And that's 100% easy for an end user to enroll a device. We can use Office 365 as well for that type of domain join as well. They can just authenticate using their Office 365 credentials. All right, so agent settings and specific configurations. The agent settings in the AirWatch console is going to allow you to determine how often the device checks in and some additional features per platform. So if you want to modify how the agent acts on a specific device, then you're going to go through those agent settings. So as a review here, what are some of the different enrollment options that an organization could utilize? What are the benefits of each of these options as well? So some different enrollment options are, of course, the simplified enrollment. You can just have the end user pick up the agent and enroll a device. Administrator-based enrollment. You can have the administrator set up the device on behalf of the end user and then hand it off once it's already been set up, once apps, profiles, configurations have been pushed down, and then the end user can just authenticate using directory services info. Or you can have DEP or Apple Configurator or Android for Work or Samsung Knox. These are more secure methods for enrolling different platforms into AirWatch so the user cannot remove management. All right, the benefits of each option is, one's easier, one takes a little bit more work, one, such as simplified enrollment, is less secure. Administrative enrollment, especially DEP or Configurator, is going to be more secure. All right, so what are the three options presented in the AirWatch agent to start enrolling a device? That would be email, using auto discovery, server details, or a QR code.